I know some of us might have heard about what OS model is from one particular angle or the other. We know that when it comes to OS model, what we are dealing with is what is called operating system. OS model is a module in Python programming language. It provides us with everything and all the function that we need to interact with our operating system to allow users to manage files when it comes to that of file management, directories, environmental variables, and system processes. That's basically what OS module, or I can say OS library, is built for. No matter how you look at it, it's really, really essential. When it comes to that of automation, when we want to automate um, our system, maybe to create files when we are doing automation, we want to save files, create, open, and do a whole lot of change directories, do a whole lot of complex tasks. OS module provides us with all the necessities that we need to accomplish this. So whether if you are new to OS module or you are an advanced programmer, there's just something for you to grab from this video. Like in this video, I'm going to explain to you everything you need to know about OS module. So if you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's really, really important. You just subscribe. It's not going to take anything from your pocket. So let's dive into the world of OS model. So what exactly is OS model? Like I stated earlier, OS model is a module or a library in Python programming language. It provides us all the functionality we need to interact with our system environment. When it comes to that of creating our files, creating directories, changing files, arranging files, doing a whole lot of other complex things with file will also help us to work with environmental variables. No worry, when it comes to environmental variables, are those ones that can actually access from your command prompt. That way, as we go on, we're going to see and do example of this, making use of this OS model. We're going to learn all these things that I've talked about. So like I said, when it comes to that of file and directory management, OS module tends to play a crucial role in this aspect. So we have another, it enables what is called creating, renaming, deleting, and navigating directories. You can also use it when you come to list files. We're going to make use of this really, really well. We're going to see a huge role of it when we create a music player with this. We're going to incorporate Kinta and OS model. We'll see how we can able to interact with our system file to find all the MP3 music player that exists in our system, and then we're able to render them and play music with them. So I also mentioned when we come to working on environmental variables. OS mode also provides us with the functionality to interact and navigate through and also exchange our environmental variables. We also talk about path operate. All these things we are going to see it in this series that we are going to do, because this is just basically the introduction to what OS module is. I'm going to see it where we'll go keep on in this series. I'm going to go through all these things. We're talking about how to create files, delete files, rename files, do a whole lot of other things, how to work with directories. We're going to do a whole lot of all these things when we start with the writing of these programs. Or like I said, it also help us to execute system command. This is basically one of the things we are going to do initially of this OS module tutorial. When it comes to that of system command, like example, we go to our command prompt and then hit Python. Now we're able to run, that's the type of a system command. We're able to interact with it and do it using OS in Python programming language. Most of other programming language have their own libraries that we can use to interact with the operating system. But when it comes to Python, it's called OS modules. So I think also when it comes to that of process management, it offers function to get process ID, manage child processes, and then retrieve system resource usage. Then when we get through this tutorial, we're going to see it. We're also going to look at that of file permission. We can create a file and give it a permission whereby we can only read the file, but we can't write to the file. So this is one of a good huge advantage of OS module. Another one is temporary files and directories. What have OS specification function? So with all this things we have said, what are the drawbacks of OS module? Because we know that since it has an advantage, it should also have a drawback too. So one of the drawback about OS mode is that of it exposes your system to vulnerabilities. Running some command in OS mode can, if you are not careful, it can run your system to vulnerability for hackers to mess around with you. system. But apart from that, OS is really is a good model we can use to interact with our system. And also, one of the drawback of OS model is beginner challenging. As if you are just new to OS model, it's going to be a little bit hard for you to understand how OS model was initially. But as you go on, you are going to understand it pretty much as you keep on using it to make and do complex things. You are going to understand how OS model work. Like I said, it's a model that provides all the functionality we need to interact with our system. And as we go on this series, you are going to see some of them. I'm not going to cover all of them because there are so many that it's almost impossible to cover all of them. But as we go, I'm going to show you the essential ones that really used, that is really beneficial to us as just a maybe for your testing, or you want to do some automation with it. I'm going to show you the ones you need to do, and I'm going to explain each step by step on how you can achieve and you can do some tasks on using this. We're going to do a whole lot of projects using this OS model. So I'll be happy to see you throughout this series. It's not going to be hard. So just make sure to stay tuned to the end, and also don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's really important. So I'll be happy to see you in this OS series. Thank you for watching.